This is Insiders Pro Wrestling, and the best is still to come.
Welcome everybody to our annual awards show, and it reminds me of the song Back Where We Started, Here We Go Around Again, and this is where we all started this channel. It is called the TIGS Awards. If you're new to this, the reason it's called that, and I'm only going to say this once because it only deserves to be said once, but the TIGS stands for This Is Good Shit Awards, and that's where it all came from. So, you know, be that as it may, and give credit to whoever you want, but whatever it is, it was good for a laugh at one point. But the gang is all here, and as you can see, we've got a full boat of people here with us tonight. Tazzy is, of course, missing it, but he did send us his awards as well. So before we get started, and you guys have been killing it, man. We have been getting some amazing amounts of people that are watching the show, especially the TNA. Thank you to all of you. But also, thank you to all of you for voting this year. Over 3,000 votes, guys. 3,000 votes is amazing. The most we've ever got. Most we've ever gotten. So yeah, give yourselves a hand. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you so much. But as you can see, so to my right on the board up there, we have, of course, Chris is with us. Chris does a little show every single Tuesday with Jeff called Fireflies Forever, where he talks all about the Wyatt Six and many, many other things that concern Bray Wyatt as well. So what's going on, Chris? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. So we've got Chris with us. We have also with us a name you may all find familiar as well, and we have Brandy with us also today. Brandy, of course, has done many shows on our channel over the years. Classic wrestling, a lot of that stuff. A lot of you guys loved getting caught up on older things that maybe you weren't around for or didn't know much about. But Brandy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us tonight for the award show. We appreciate it. So we're all going to be giving our awards results. And of course, this man needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. Of course, my co-host of the show and co-creator of the show, of course, Jeff. Jeff, another year has rolled on. It's so hard to believe that the years just go so fast. And here we are, back where we all started.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember this show looking and being very different in the very beginning. It's come a long way. Hopefully everyone likes what we have going tonight. But yeah, I'm really excited, and like you said earlier, this is where we got our start. So
yep,
I'm ready to get into this evening to see what everybody selected.
Yeah, just and just a little quick note on that. If you guys ever want to go and check out some of our history, go back and check out that first show, because, like, God bless, man. Jeff took that little show and made it about as good as it could look without having our shiny faces on there, because we did not have video at that time. So it's very, very difficult to do. But it shows you what kind of stuff Jeff can do, and on that side of the business. So yeah, go check that out if you ever want to get a look back at where we started. But we're going to start tonight's show. And of course, one of the things on every award show, whether it's the Academy Awards or whether it's Music Awards, whatever, they pay tribute to folks who we have lost. And that is where we are going to start the show today. We're going to do a little tribute to some of the wrestlers and the people that we have lost throughout the course of the year. So we're going to start that up right now and do our best to remember some of these people. sadly, this is something that we have to talk about, and we lost a lot of wrestlers over this past year, and a lot of very influential wrestlers in the world of pro wrestling, and it hits people hard in many different ways. Some of you are too young to remember some of these names, and some of us are even too young to remember some of them. But yeah, it's sad whenever we see any of our favorites that are tragically lost, and so we obviously pay tribute to those that have come before and have done so much in their own little way for the sport of professional wrestling, Jeff. And it's just again, it's a sad thing, but their families and their relatives and friends should be extremely proud of what they accomplished in this business, and what the legacies that they have left.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of the folks who really helped to make what wrestling what it is, and who created some of our favorite moments
Yeah.
of wrestling in our lives. And I don't want to single anyone out, but I'm going to. Being the WCW homer that I am, being the football fan that I am, seeing Steve Mongo McMichael come over to WCW when he did, and join the Four Horsemen
Oh
and
yeah.
do all
Oh
the
yeah.
things he did. It was really cool to see. So seeing him pass away and his struggle over the last couple years of his life was really sad. But I'm just glad that he's no longer in pain, and he left a huge lasting legacy on the business, and not only the wrestling business but also in football. So
Yep.
rest in peace, Steve Mongo and Michael.
Yep. He was also a great commentator.
Oh yeah, yeah, fantastic.
Really, really good on the mic. And was one of those ones where that was when you had the classic. You'd always have the classic face commentator, and you'd have the classic heel commentator. And Mongo was really, really good with that. But yeah, I mean, again, just huge names. And I mean, like him or not, and there's been a lot of controversy around them, but the name of Hulk Hogan. I mean, wrestling would not be what it is today without Hulk Hogan. And I get it. He wasn't, outside of the ring. We're not talking about that, because obviously you can, take that way however you want to take it. But if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have a lot of this stuff that we have in wrestling today. So, yeah, and I could see all of you guys with the comments. A lot of you know the Big Dan said Sweet Daddy Siki trained Edge. So you could see the legacies from some of these wrestlers that they leave, and have influenced people in the world of professional wrestling. Larry as well says Clown. Yeah. It's crazy and I'm sure they'll go over this when WWE has their Hall of Fame ceremony and stuff like that too. R.I.P. to Sandra, Nick Gage's wife, who sat front row for his matches. Yeah, always Colonel De Beers. Talk about somebody I hated, but I love that flapjack pile driver. Yep, absolutely.
So before we move to the award show itself,
Yep.
I just want to get a couple thoughts from Brandy and from Chris.
Sure.
Just on any of the folks that we had on screen, or any of the folks that we've lost over the past year, and their legacy in wrestling. We'll start with Chris.
Yeah, to echo what Joe said, like, I don't know if I'd be a wrestling fan if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. I grew up as a kid in the '80s, and instantly just clung to Hulk Hogan. Seeing him, he was larger than life on my TV screen. It was like a real life superhero to me as a little kid. Getting into wrestling. So yeah, it's I don't know if I would have gotten into wrestling without him, because yeah, he really was the first one that I really gravitated towards and really got me interested, and I want to check out more of this.
Yep.
Brandy.
WrestleMania wouldn't be what it is without Hulk Hogan. I don't think anybody can look back on the history there and be able to say that it would be the same without Hulk Hogan.
Yep, 100%, no doubt. Huge legacy that he left, and I mean, my gosh, cartoons. He had his own cartoon on Saturday. He was everywhere. He was in Rocky Balboa. He was in it. He was everywhere, and
really made wrestling mainstream. Made it something bigger than it was. I mean, you didn't even have to know about wrestling or ever watch wrestling to know who Hulk Hogan was.
Yep, 100%, 100%. So,
well, are you guys ready to get to the award show? And I know Clown is ready to give us his write-in. So,
okay,
we ready?
Yeah, all set. All right, man, let's roll.
Let me hit the intro for that, and here we go.
In professional wrestling, every year tells a story. And 2025 told one hell of a story. It was a year of unforgettable moments, groundbreaking performances, and creative risks that pushed the industry forward. But it was also a year of controversy, hard conversations, divided opinions, and moments that challenged fans, performers, and promotions alike. Tonight, we're not here to rewrite history. We're here to reflect on it. To celebrate what worked, question what didn't, and honor the talent and stories that defined the year that was. This is where passion meets perspective. Welcome to the show as we look back at 2025 and ahead to what comes next.
I'd be remiss to say, and I had one job and I forgot to do it. See, this is what happens when you're older. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And please make sure to drop a like on the stream because, that helps us out big time. So make sure you do that. Hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have that future content as well. But, Jeff, we're adding a little bit into this one, right? We are going to add a section that everybody loves into our awards show this year, and that is the airing of grievances. So we are going to do our grievance of the year. So those of you who are in chat, you may play along. Now, we didn't collect these from everybody because we would have had paragraphs, and it would have taken us probably 7 months to sort through all of it. But so you can play along, put a sentence or two out in the chat to let us know what your grievance was of the year of 2025. But we are going to go through all of ours. So, Jeff, where shall we start?
Let's see. Chris, you wanna be first one up?
I mean, the only thing I'll say is, I know that it's been talked about a lot, is just, gosh, the social media world around wrestling and where it's gotten to is just, it just drives me crazy. It makes me upset. I hate to see it the way it is, because at the end, wrestling is supposed to be all about just having fun together. It's can be a great community, and luckily, we have a great community here. But I would just love to see that more everywhere else too.
Yep, great point.
Absolutely.
Great point.
Absolutely, Brandy.
You guys know I love my wrestling podcasts, but do certain wrestling podcasters need 10 wrestling podcasts? Jim Cornette.
A little bit much is a little bit much, yes.
He's much with one podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Man, I'll tell you guys. Look, we've gone through so many different topics on this part of the show throughout the course of the year, and I know a lot of you guys love it. It's our way of just getting things off our chest. Honestly, guys, for me, it's wrestling ultimately, when you break it down to its core, is entertainment. And I've said this time and time again over the course of this year, and it's like a broken record. If the entertainment is not entertaining you, guys, find something else that does. Don't drive yourself crazy things, look, we all change. Every single year, every single day, we all change. And things can come around that have us, that create changes in our world. And there's nothing out there that says that if wrestling has absolutely got you to the point where you are like literally making fists at the TV, or you're screaming and yelling, guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just like anything else. If you watch a film or you watch a TV show and all of a sudden the TV show starts to get bad, there's nothing that says you can't turn away. There's nothing that says you've got to keep doing it. That's kind of like the definition of insanity. You're keeping on watching something that's just making you upset and angry. Just don't do it. Turn away from it. Go away from it. Because the one thing I've noticed all through these years about wrestling is that it changes so much that you may hate some things that they're doing in a month or two, and then things may change after a month or so after that. And then things just change for the better. So all I will say is it's like anything else. If there are things that you just do not like and it's just getting you to the point of where you just want to pop off and you're just disgusted with it and stuff like that, don't take it to social media. Don't go out on Twitter and start, yelling and screaming out there, because God only knows it's just going to upset you, and it's not going to, you're just going to get a bunch of people that are coming in going to upset you more. So don't bother with that. Just take a break. There's nothing that says you cannot take a break from any type of entertainment that you do. Games, shows, movies, whatever it is. There's nothing that says you can't take a break. Take a break, go away from it for a while, and then come back to it when you're ready, or if you're ready. And if you're not, find something else that's going to make you happy, because that's ultimately what all of this is. So that's pretty much just my grievance is just that, wraps up everything I've talked about throughout the course of this year. Find something to do that is going to make you happy, because life is way, way too short.
Yep. Good stuff. I guess I'm up then.
You are, sir.
I'll make mine short and sweet. I've said this numerous times on this channel, and I want to preface this by saying I don't have a problem with every single outlet. That's not the case at all. I don't have a problem with wrestling journalists that are truly that, wrestling journalists. I think the problem has become, though, many of these wrestling journalists have become more PR agencies, and maybe more division creators and stirrers than anything else. And as someone who went to school for journalism, when I see people calling themselves journalists and yet they don't report full stories, or they report half truths, that's not journalism the way that I was trained. And I think the fans deserve better than that. But I think, to a larger part, it kind of echoes what everyone is saying in their grievance, is that all of it is done in a way to create revenue for these people, because that's what it all comes down to. Hate sells, and the louder you can be, or the more crap you can stir up, then yeah, you're going to get a lot of people looking your way. The only thing that I would say is, the only thing that I would ask, and we kind of haven't gotten off to a great start in 2026 with this, but if you are a wrestling journalist and you do have a large platform, please be mindful of the information that you share, because people do pay attention to that information, although some of us don't. But some people do pay attention to that information. They're greatly misinformed because of you and your pursuit of money and fame and whatever else it is that you're looking for. So my advice to all the fans out there: be selective with who you choose to get your news and information from. You can't trust everybody. And, just be mindful that these people have an agenda, and try not to fall victim to it.
Yeah.
That's my grievance.
Yeah, great point. I mean, I a couple of weeks ago on the show, I called it trash journalism, and that's what my professors would have called it. And I'm sure Jeff would be the same way. That's exactly what it is. It's trash journalism, and all is it's for a purpose. And its purpose is to create controversy and earn them money. Bottom line. Regardless of whether it's true or not true, it doesn't matter. If it earns them money and clicks and all that kind of stuff, that is really the only thing that they care about. And it's nothing more than that. So let me read a couple of yours. I'm not going to spend too much time because we got to get on with the awards, but let me read a couple. Dan says, my grievance for 2025 is easy, and the initials are DM. Deanna says, grievance would be the hate between companies. Let's be happy we have choices so we can watch anything. True. We had a couple of years ago, or 3-4 years ago, where we didn't have much choice. We were kind of suffering because some of the shows were god awful. Let's face it, god awful. To the point of where me and Jeff were here doing a SmackDown once, and I think we were falling asleep.
Yes.
God awful.
Can confirm.
Confirm. Yeah. So let's let's see. If you don't like what I like, so you're dumb is my grievance. Yeah, I mean, nobody should be like that. Let's see. What really happened with Rock, Travis, Scott, and Cena? I think all the momentum disappeared going into WrestleMania. But yeah, Cena's heel turn was flat. P.S. Good evening, Jeff, says Jason Peace. Bonus Baby says, do I need to bring up my Idaho reference? I don't like Idaho, so I don't go to Idaho. Okay. This is some Idaho hate in the chat. Let's see. My grievance is the tribalism in wrestling with certain fans. All the wrestlers like each, regardless of the company. Also, the people ruin surprises for a show just to get clicks. Yeah, it's almost incredibly hard to avoid. And that's why, like, you almost have to stay off social media. You almost have to. If you want stuff surprised and you know something big's coming, like, well, a big show comes up that you want to watch, I would tell you, you get off the socials and don't even get on a week before that comes on, because that's the only way you're going to save yourself from seeing it. So, yeah. Good stuff. All right. Well, there you go. That is our grievances for the year of 2025. So we're going on. And, Jeff, we're going to start the awards.
Yes, we are. We're going to start with, already remembered those we've lost, and we're going to start with Male Wrestler of the Year.
All right.
Male Wrestler of the Year.
All right. Male Wrestler of the Year as voted on by all of you. So here we go.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the...
All good.
Here we go. All right, here we go.
And the winner is...
Oh, there you go. So that's a kind of a surprise, I think, right? Gunther is Male Wrestler of the Year for 2025. Wow. I mean, I've got to tell you, that's a surprise to me. I was expecting other names here. But look, I mean, there's no denying what the guy did. He's now in a position where he's retiring these big names. I mean, he put an end to John Cena. He retired John Cena at the end of his whole thing that he had, the big celebration, and Gunther was the guy who put him down. And now, more recently, he's retired AJ Styles. So, hey, look, like him or hate him, and they want you to hate him. That's pretty darn clear. But this was a little bit of a surprising result that we got here. I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily expect this to be the case, but yeah, the Ring General is your Male Wrestler of the Year. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah. I didn't see that one coming either.
No. Yeah. I mean, he had a fantastic year. There's no question about it. But I would not, just because of the fact that a lot of times people just don't like to vote for heels. They'd much rather get that, that the face up there. And there you see, there's the others receiving votes up on the screen. So you can see Gunther got 63%. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, it's not even close, guys. I mean, when we got over 3,000 votes here, 63% were for Gunther. We have Dominic Mysterio up there getting a couple percent. Seth Rollins got 10%. Moxley got 2%. Adam Hangman Page got 1%. Takashita got 5%. Mike Santana got 5%. Trick Williams is up there. Leon Slater. Others receiving, 1%. So wasn't even close. Like this was an absolute runaway. So yeah, very, very crazy. And we're going to go through ours, right, Jeff?
Yep. So let's see. We can start with Brandy. We can go Brandy, Chris, and then me, and I'll take care of Tazzy's too.
Sounds good.
I'm pretty sure I put Moxley.
All right, so Brandy voted for Jon Moxley as her Wrestler of the Year. What made you vote for Jon, Brandy? What was like your deciding factor?
Jon Moxley.
Okay, fair enough.
Do I need another reason?
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. That's what being a fan is. Good stuff. All right, Chris, what you got?
I actually did vote for Gunther. I went with everybody else on this one. I mean, how can you not say you're the best when you retire Goldberg and John Cena in the same year?
Goldberg too, yeah.
It's funny. I never used to like him, but actually, since all this whole career killer thing and just his attitude now, I'm actually liking him more just because it reminds me of the '80s. He's Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan. He's that heel that everyone just hates.
Great point.
The Gulf War
point.
when Sergeant Slaughter was saying he was with Iraq and stuff that heat was just incredible. And that's what Gunther's. No, I like it. It's old school wrestling to me.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Yeah, I mean we've been lucky on our channel to have some old school wrestlers on right from the very beginning, when we were able to interview some people. And they talk about that and stuff, and things change a lot over the years. But when you get these guys that are doing some stuff that reminds you of old school, there's nothing like it. And absolutely, he is, Chris, a throwback. There is no doubt. No doubt. Yep, no doubt. Jeff, man, what do you got?
All right. Well, I'm gonna read Tazzy's first.
Okay.
Tazzy picked Obafemi, which.
Hey,
I don't think anyone could argue.
Yeah,
with the year that he had, I really don't think anybody could. He had a great year. He's had a great start to 2026 too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little bit against the grain. I'm gonna go. My winner this year was actually Trick Williams.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because he absolutely was incredible in NXT. And just when you think, okay, what else can he do in NXT? They've got to call him up to the main roster now. Then he goes over and he wins the TNA World Championship. And he catapults himself into this stratosphere now where if he's supposed to be a heel, tell the fans that. Because the pop that
the whoop that trick chant is loud every time.
So loud. So I'm gonna give mine this year to Trick Williams. I just feel like he has done such a great job in elevating. I mean, you think about going from the guy that was standing behind Apollo Crews during the pandemic in the Thunderdome, wearing the fatigues, to now being what he is and being in the Elimination Chamber. And you could argue he's got a good shot at going to WrestleMania and possibly challenging for that title. So Trick Williams for me.
Yep. And of course, because I'm old and I forget many, many things now, Jeff, what was my pick?
Your pick? You did not send me your pick, Joe.
Oh, I thought I did. Oh, well, even better. I'll just pick them now. Okay, I am going to go with Gunther's a great pick, and all the choices have been great by everybody so far. I'm going to choose, and only because of some of the stuff that I'm going to pick Seth Rollins. I'm going to go Seth Rollins. And I just think that a lot of times this guy just doesn't get his due. He's been around for such a good long time now. And I think sometimes we just don't give, we don't give people flowers that have been around a long time because it becomes an expectation. But look, the whole thing with the swerve, with the injury, come on, man. That is, again, like Chris was talking about classic wrestling before. That is something that it was done back in the day, and you just don't see it anymore.
No.
Now, so much so that people got mad that they showed that on that WWE show that uncovered the whole thing. That they showed how he did it. People don't, that's like that. We don't want to know. Like, but it was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. When that first happened, I was watching. I'm like, what the hell happened? The whole thing with LA Knight and how they stopped it. And then I, first of all, I thought, yeah, they're faking this. And then after I'm thinking, no, look at, he's coming out on these other shows with crutches and all this kind of stuff. No, it can't be, right? But to pull that off on today's wrestling audience is amazing. And then when you see the behind the scenes thing of how they did it, is pretty awesome. And plus, like I said, Seth's going to be one of those guys that when he closes out his career, I still don't necessarily think he's going to get as much credit as he probably deserves, where he came from, the Shield and all that kind of stuff. And he was, look at Roman and Moxley, they were the big names. Seth was not. Mm-hmm. And what he's turned himself into, and listen, we're going to get a lot of good stuff coming out of him because he's going to probably return sooner than later. And when that happens, we may already be seeing some of that with the whole Masked Man thing going on and everything like that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Seth, and I get everybody else's choices 100%. The Gunther thing, you really can't deny what he's done, but for me, I just thought that was just brilliant, and Seth, I think, is just an amazing wrestler. Unfortunately, he does have a lot of injury history and stuff like that, but yeah, I just don't think Seth gets enough due.
Oh yeah, I mean, you talk about, look at those three guys, how influential the Shield was as a group, and now what they've all been able to do solo. I mean, you could argue all three of those guys are still to this day maybe the three top guys in wrestling right now, but potentially.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Big Dan's comparing Gunther to Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. That's a good comparison, actually. They're very similar acting. So yeah, good stuff. All right, Jeff, what do we got next?
We've got female wrestler of the year.
All right. Ready? We are ready. Female wrestler of the year. Here we go.
And the winner is...
Wow. Okay. Stephanie Vacher is your winner of Female Wrestler of the Year. That's incredible. I mean, she has been amazing since she's been in WWE. All the accolades to her. Fantastic wrestler. But again, kind of a surprise here. Especially with all the stuff in the past that we've had. A lot of times this becomes a little bit of a popularity contest, and the people that vote, they're just voting for the people that they really love. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But Stephanie coming out on top here really kind of says something about her and her future with the business.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right,
this is a little bit shy. I'm a little surprised, although I did vote for Stephanie. I am a little bit shocked with it, though.
Yeah,
and this is the
there result. You see up on the board, you got Stephanie Vacher, you got Tiffany Stratton, you got Io Sky, and Toni Storm from the AEW. You got Willow Nightingale from AEW. Stephanie got 49%. Tiffany got 16%. Io got 5%. Toni Storm got 8%. Willow Nightingale got 4%. Mercedes Moné got 15%. Masha Slamovich from TNA got it. I know she's not there anymore, but you've got to give her a due. She had an amazing year in TNA. Saya Kamitani from Stardom Wrestling. Athena from Ring of Honor. Jeff and I have talked about her a lot on our show. Another huge year for her. So a lot of these women definitely deserving, but Stephanie Vauquier pulls it out. So let's go around the table here, and Chris, we'll go to you first. Who do you got for Wrestler of the Year? Female wrestler.
Vauquier also. I thought that I had never heard of her before she came to WWE, and to see just the way she came in NXT and just immediately became a big star there and dominated, and then since coming to the main roster, already to capture a championship and be such a good champion and stuff. Yeah, how can you not say she had the best year of 2025 for women?
Yep, absolutely. We'll go to Brandy. Brandy, who's your female wrestler of the year for 2025?
I went with Tiffany Stratton.
Okay, good choice. Yeah,
just thought good year.
Yeah, no doubt. Tiffany was on top of the world for quite a while, and yeah, she absolutely had an amazing year. Very, very beloved by a lot of fans. So yeah, and she's a brilliant career ahead of her as well. So amazing athlete also. Tiffany is an absolutely amazing athlete.
Yeah, I think the push right now, I think you could look at so many who've gone before her and see some reminiscences there.
Yep, absolutely. I remember my choice for this one. I voted for look, like her or not, you can't deny one thing, and that is gold and championships. I went with Mercedes Moné. Look, she's been around for a long time. She had a crazy amount of championships. Around her waist at some point this past year. I'm not looking at companies. This is not a company's thing. This is an athlete's thing. This is a vote for, the athlete themselves. The things she's accomplished in women's wrestling and stuff like that, whatever company she's been in, the accomplishments are there, like her or not. Plus, look, for me, she's been in Star Wars stuff, which, that's always a plus for me. So yeah, you either hated her or you liked her. There's no in between with Mercedes. But she had just a huge, huge year in wrestling this year. And, whether or not you say it's over the top, yeah, it probably was. But, it is what it is. She's still extremely talented. That doesn't change from when she was in WWE to now that she's in AEW. So I went with Mercedes Moné. All right, let's see what some of you got out here. If you have anything else, Atticus Kogar write-in, says Clown.
For male wrestler of the year.
Okay. Let's see. We've got see if anybody else put anything in here. EO Old Police says bonkers. This was my one Fed vote. She broke out and left others behind. Booker, some people quoting Booker T. A great choice, although Tiffany could have gotten it too. This was a wrestling equivalent of Tim Duncan over Jason Kidd. Respect to Stephanie to continue to learn and study English. If Naomi wasn't, that's a great shout, Bonkers. I like that. If Naomi wasn't pregnant, she could. Yes, no doubt. Naomi was on she was just going up and up and up and up and up. And we were so happy to see that because we know how good she was when she came over to TNA and took the chance over there and won the championship. Now she's got, but yeah, if she didn't have to leave, and I'm sure when she comes back, she's going to be awesome. And she is very beloved by that crowd. So yeah, that's a great shout. Barry Monkey says, fully agree with Stephanie as the winner. Bonus Baby says, they didn't want to like Tiffany Stratton because I heard she was part of the reason Taya was let go from NXT because Tiff was basically a younger version, but Tiffany has won me over. She's very athletic, extremely athletic. She's a gymnast, I think she was.
I think so.
And that 100% shows. So yeah, for sure. But the one thing I take from all this is that the women are just every single year the women are rising. And we'll get to that a little bit later because we've got a pay-per-view thing to go to, but it's just been incredible to watch. So, All right, we're going on to our next award, guys. One that's special to my heart. Tag Team of the Year. Tag Team of the Year.
All right. Well, we'll hit the sound and we'll see who everybody picked.
And the winner is
Yo, okay.
Wow.
The Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six. All right. As people that are watching the show on Tuesday, and obviously, look, this to me speaks to the popularity of Bray, but also these wrestlers that are in the team itself. The nominees that we have were the Wyatt Six, got 30%. That was close. Fraxium, who was mentioned in chat a couple times already, were right behind them with 24. So it was quite close. We had the New Day at 5%. The Hardys and TNA, great choices there. I mean, they had a killer year. 10% for them. The Hurt Syndicate from AEW at 10%. Brodito at what's the percentage there? I can't.
Let me see. I know it's hard
19?
to see. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is it 19? Yeah, or no, 1%.
1%. Yeah, 1%.
And then, of course, there were a lot of others, a lot of possible others here, write-ins there at 20%. So, but the Wyatt Six come out on top with the win here. Look, they were champions for a good amount of time. Just recently lost the titles, but they're that storyline is still ongoing, and it's possibly going to get a lot crazier going on. But this was a good year in tag team wrestling. I can remember some of those SmackDown things that they were doing on Friday nights, and it was like a heyday of tag teams. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, Ciampa was involved. I mean, they had so many awesome tag teams going at it at one point down there, and I was loving it. I tag team is my stuff. I love tag team wrestling, always have. And whenever it shows up on a show, I'm there for it because that to me is classic wrestling. So. Let's go around the forum here, and we'll see who everybody else, and you in chat can say otherwise too if you didn't vote for the winner. Brandy, I'll start with you. I know you love tag team wrestling as well, so who was your tag team of the year?
Wyatt Six.
Okay, all right. Brandy agrees with.
I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. What they're doing for Bray's legacy and stuff like that is it's awesome. It's just awesome. And listen, they've been in some amazing matches, really amazing matches. So, great choice. All right, Chris, what you got?
I'm going to get yelled at here, considering the show talking about the Wyatt Six, but I did not vote for the Wyatt Six. I voted for the Hardys just because I'm a longtime Hardy fan, and to see them come back at their age and still be able to perform the way they do, still be able to have championship matches and defend those titles against people the way they did, I just thought they had an amazing 2025.
Chris, don't you think they're going to die on a ladder? I mean, let's just be
They
real.
probably will. They probably will.
Hey, we got that match in TNA. They just showed highlights of it on last week's show.
Bound for Glory, yeah.
Between them and the Dudleys, I mean, come on. Who would have thought we would get that match in 2025? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
love my Wyatt Six, but I just had Hardy's just edged him out a little bit for me.
Yep. Jeff, who'd you got?
So Tazzy,
like
Chris, has the Hardys.
Nice.
And me, I'm gonna make sure that Chris doesn't get yelled at because I did vote for the Wyatt Six, so they have been voted for from that show.
There you go.
So Chris, you're all good. But that was my struggle too. I was going between them and the Hardys because the Hardys to come back to TNA and not only be there and thrive, but be the champions for as long as they have and put on some good matches and do some good stuff. And I think things it's only starting to heat up now that you have the Righteous in the fold. So they had a great 2025, but the Wyatt Six just for me because I felt like they had so much momentum to start, and then for things outside of their control, that momentum was halted. And to see them win those titles and hold them as long as they did, I was happy to see that. So,
yep, 100%. I am also going to go with the Hardys here. They look just let's let's call a spade a spade. Before we had the big deal going with AMC, I could even go out and say that because, and this was before Mike Santana, this was before we had, you had Nick Nemeth really kind of carrying the company for a little while, but between that point, you can say that the Hardys carried TNA. You can literally say that they did. So between them and some of the other wrestlers that are Leon Slater, they are the ones that have carried them into this deal with AMC. Just amazing to say that after all these years. Then people will come out and be haters and be like, well, they should go back to WWE. You don't think that they're having a great time where they're at? You don't think that they're enjoying what they're doing? And so many people behind the scenes, including Matt and Jeff Hardy, and others like Bully Ray and stuff, are saying that the TNA locker room is tremendous. And that is probably a big reason why the Hardys have stayed where they are. Who would have thought that all these years later, the Hardy Boys would be on top of the world. So, and had some fantastic matches. So I think the Hardys are keeping that tag team spirit alive, and I absolutely love to see it. But like a lot of you have mentioned in the chat, and we'll go through that really quickly. Some of you said Fraxium. A lot of these tag teams that some people are talking about here are younger people that are going to carry it forward. And again, I'm great with that too, because that's what we need. That as well. We need that as well. Right in Busta and the Brain, says Clown. Kabuki Warriors for me. Great women tag team. They had an awesome year in WWE. Absolutely awesome year in WWE. So they were fantastic. The Young Bucks had a great character story year. Got to go with the Bucks. Bonus baby. I no denying the Young Bucks are amazing. One of the best for sure. We did get a couple of write-ins for the Bucks. You can't take it away from them. And again, anybody that carries the tradition of tag team wrestling forward so that we're seeing it more and more on shows, I'm good with that. I think
Alexa and Charlotte deserve a good shout out too. I think
they were right in.
Brought back the women's tag division.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's a great shout.
Yeah, they were right in. We got a sternly worded X post because they weren't on the.
We did, we have. Yes, we did.
But but I will say that more than that one person did write them in. So I wanted to give that credit because they did have a great year as well. So.
And that was a brilliant pairing when you think about it, because two people who really hated each other, they wrestled against each other so many times. And then you turn Charlotte face, and who would ever have thought that would work? Charlotte turning face, joining up with Alexa.
Got booed on a return too.
Right? Yeah. Like an amazing, brilliant. That was actually just a brilliant thing to do. And it turned out to be a huge thing for WWE. So, that was great. Absolutely a great pairing. So we'll talk more about women throughout the show, but women's wrestling, like I said, is just been amazing in all aspects. So very exciting.
Yep.
All right. On to the next one. And up there, as you could see, wrestling is always good when we've got good factions, folks. And we had some good factions this year. So the award for Faction of the Year. Who is it? Oh, a double win. Got another win for the Wyatt Six as the Faction of the Year from WWE. A lot of Wyatt fans out there, and I can't really be surprised because a lot of them are probably people that watch our channel consistently over the course of these last many years that have done some of this voting. Although there was a lot, like I said, there's a lot of people who are new, so there must be a lot of people that are Wyatt Six fans and Brave fans. So that's awesome. But there are a lot of factions, and here are some of them. Wyatt Six pretty much ran away, 28%. We have the Vision from WWE at 15%, relatively new faction. Of course, the Vision was. We have the MFTs from WWE at 5%. We have the Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll say this: the number is incorrect. It looks like the system won, but it was actually 30% for the Wyatt Six, 28 for the system.
Okay.
So
yeah, I didn't even see that.
But the system was second, so that says a lot about the TNA folks that are
it does.
that are watching.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. So the system, okay. So the system very, very close to the Wyatt Six. Could you stick the graphic up really quick again, Jeff, so I could just see the list? Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
We have the Death Riders there. We have the Hurt Syndicate there. We have the Don Callis family. We have, of course, Jeff, I was saying the system was number 2. We have Order 4, Mustafa Ali's faction, which has been awesome. The Rascals in TNA. And then, of course, we had some others in there as well. So, Jeff, I'll start with you, man. Who was your faction of the year this year?
So I'll first go to Tazzy's pick.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
I'll go to his first. But
yep.
Tazzy picked Judgment Day.
Okay.
So they had a great year as well. They had an awesome year.
Yeah.
So again, that's why we had the other category. That's my fault for leaving them off. I apologize, but for me personally, it was the system. And the reason why I say it's the system is because to go from hated heels and people saying F the system to all of a sudden almost just like a blink of an eye, people are cheering the system.
Yeah.
It's like, when did this happen? I think we even asked that question on stream when we were doing a watch along one week. When did this happen? Yeah. Moose, obviously, the driving force behind the old system. If you haven't been watching TNA, spoiler alert, they kicked Moose out. But he was the driving force behind it, and they had such great chemistry as a team, as a faction. You have a whole cast of characters in there. So yeah, that was my faction of the year. And this time I had to be the one not to pick the Wyatt Six from Fireflies Forever. So that's mine.
All right. I will go to Chris. Chris, what is yours?
Well, we're in trouble, Jeff. I also picked the system simply because, like you were talking about, the impact that they made in TNA and the factor that they were super entertaining. I mean, it was fun to watch the system. I mean, not that it wasn't for the Wyatt Six either, but I just felt like they just made just a little bit bigger impact to me than the Wyatt Six did. So yeah, I went with the system too.
I have to make that unanimous. I've also gone with that. Look, it's not only tough to have a faction become
it's
popular.
Not unanimous, Jeff. I mean, Joe.
Okay. Well, of the 3 of the 4.
Of the three of us, yeah.
3 of us.
3 of us so far.
But you have to give them credit, because not only is it tough to get people to enjoy a faction, but to get people to enjoy a faction of heels is not always easy to do. I like what Paul Heyman's guys are doing over there. But again, they are all, a lot of them have been established before as solo acts and stuff like that. But yeah, look, TNA wouldn't be where they were without the system. Would not be where they were without the system. And they had a great year, like them or not, and you weren't supposed to like them right up until the end there. went over to AMC. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the system as well.
I just got to say too that unlike some other award shows, I tried to keep all my biases out of my picks and truly pick the best too. So
Yep.
yes, if I was picking the fan
here.
in me, would have definitely picked the White Six, but I just think the
Yep.
system was better for the fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same here. Same here.
Brandy
All
is
right,
not
Brandy.
making it unanimous, so
I am not. Look, Joe, like you, I love a good faction. You know
Yep.
this because my favorite faction is a heel faction, which is the Four Horsemen. But my faction is the Wyatt Six, and it is because they are not only spectacular in what they've done this year, and because they're new, but they have an old feel as well.
Okay. Yeah. Which is, you don't always see that, right? Like the wrestlers have been, a lot of them were in NXT for a good while. Nikki Cross was, of course, on the main roster, and then Eric Rowan. But yeah, that's not always easy to do. When you come from different backgrounds and things like that, and to get that many people together, and even though they're doing it because of their love for one person, and they're using their love for Bray and the things that he did, and that all came together. And yeah, I look, that's 100%. That's a great point. Great point. All right, let's see what we've got here. The MFTs are the White Six, says Brandon. Swackfan says, man, I am so late. All good, dude. The White Six with another award. However, I think Judgment Day should have gotten this one, in my opinion, says Big Dan. Swackfan says the system. Yeah, Judgment Day was a write-in. Judgment Day had a great year too. There's, if you would have picked Judgment Day,
they shouldn't have been a write-in.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah,
them, and I'm sorry. So.
Nah, listen, man, we're all gonna, it's hard. There's a lot of stuff out there and a lot of wrestling out there. But yes, the Judgment Day although there were a lot of times when it looked like they were going to split. There were many times throughout the course of the year that it looked like they were going to fracture.
Still does.
It does.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's looking like it even more because of the stuff that's happening with Dom and Liv and things, and of course Finn Balor and things like that. So it kind of looks like they might not be long for the world. But yeah, they're all great wrestlers in that faction. Don Callis family isn't a faction. They are a roster. Says Bonus Baby. You sound like old school NWO, and you had the red and the black and the white and the blue.
I feel like 1 week we're gonna get that with the Don Callis family. I truly do. Like,
Don Callis red, Don Callis black, Don Callis green and blue. Yeah, sure, why not? Yes, Judgment Day had a great year. True. Judgment Day was pretty good, I thought, says Bonkers. Moose popping up on NXT was huge. He got a pop. I was going to say Order 4, but now you mentioned Judgment Day. I agree. They've been the biggest part of Raw. Most weeks had a great year. Order 4 is a good call. Dude, man, they have one of the most threatening wrestlers on any faction roster that I have seen. That guy, and I still don't know who the hell it is. That dude is scary, man. He is one scary dude. And they are really making it out where he is almost impervious to pain. So yeah, I mean, Order 4, they could just be very up and coming. And of course, I love Mustafa Ali and I love Tasha Steelz. So, Clay is here. What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Sunday. My birthday's coming. Oh, happy early birthday, dude. All right, there you go. So that is the faction. And what do we have next?
All right. So up next.
Ooh, this will be a good one.
This is one I'm excited about. Pay-per-view / PLE, because WWE avoids calling things what they've been called for decades. Don't get me started on that. Grievances were earlier, but pay-per-view or PLE of the year.
All right. Well, there you go, chat. Pay-per-view of the year. Let's see who the winner is. Wow, A-Dub, a double or nothing. Okay. All right. A-Dub gets the win for pay-per-view of the year. That might be Now that I'm thinking about it, that could be our first non-WWE one since we've been doing this.
Yeah.
We got Double or Nothing, 31%. We have WWE Evolution 2 at 30%. So close.
Very close.
Wow, that's insane. 1% away.
Yeah.
We have, let's see, we've got, looks like Slammiversary and WrestleMania tied at 10% for third. We've got Full Gear and Revolution, both AEW, tied at 5%. We've got Bound for Glory for TNA at 4%, and then Royal Rumble and SummerSlam coming in at 2%. So this is insane. This is definitely the first time a WWE didn't win, and in many years, it's the first time that a WrestleMania didn't win or was not their highest one on that board. So that's crazy. That's really, really crazy. So, all right. Well, let's see. Let's start with Brandy. Brandy, what was your PLE pay-per-view of the year?
I lost. Royal Rumble.
Okay. Look, Royal Rumble's still a big favorite of a lot of people, and I understand.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch. You're always looking for who's coming next and the countdown and all that kind of stuff. A big bunch of fanfare. You don't know if there's going to be new people showing up, but yeah, look, Royal Rumble is a favorite of a lot of people, so I could 100% understand why you pick that. It's just a fun one that comes out every single year. Chris, what do you got, man?
This one's quite shocking to me.
Yeah,
the results of this, but I almost went with Royal Rumble because I was at that Royal Rumble, but I went with SummerSlam because it was just a little bit better show for me, and I just it had some great matches. It had one of my favorite matches of the year, the 6-pack TLC ladder match that the Wyatt Six were in, one of my favorite matches of the year there, and then going to 2 nights, I think it was a really big deal for SummerSlam, and then ending both nights the way they did with Seth Rollins' fake injury on night 1, and then Brock Lesnar coming out after the Cena Cody match night 2. I thought SummerSlam was amazing.
Yeah, it was probably the best SummerSlam we've had in a good while. I agree. Jeff, man, what you got?
All right, so Tazzy has AEW All In for his pay-per-view of the year. And I'm actually going to agree with the voters on both regards, because my 2 favorite pay-per-views of 2025 were Double or Nothing and Evolution 2. Those were my 2 favorites, followed by SummerSlam and Royal Rumble. So this was a tough one for me to pick. But honestly, you got to give credit where it's due. We talk about that a lot on this channel. AEW, love them or hate them, one thing that you cannot say is that they put on great pay-per-views. Like they are amazing. But last year they had a banner year, I think, for pay-per-views. So that's why they got the slight nod over Evolution, but that's just me.
Yeah. Like Lemmy from Motorhead famously sung "Evolution." I'm going with that. Look, that was my. I said it many times. My favorite pay-per-view of the year, hands down. The women killed it. And again, like I said, you could probably look back at this year as being one of the biggest year in women's wrestling that we've had for a while. And they better continue to do these, because when it's getting that many votes just in our little neck of the woods, you can tell that people are liking this. And women's wrestling is, I don't know if you guys remember the matches. Naomi, of course, defeating Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. That was when Naomi won the title. Stephanie Vauquer, of course, won by she beat Lash Legend in the Battle Royal. Jade Cargill defeating Naomi. Tiffany Stratton, of course, beat Trish Stratus. Judgment Day defeated Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Sol Ruka, and Zarya, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi by pinfall. JC Jane A lot of people for NXT. Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix defeated Jordan Grace with Blake Monroe by pinfall. And then, of course, Becky Lynch defeated Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. So it was a stellar pay-per-view from top to bottom. Really, really great show. And again, like I said, if WWE doesn't continue doing these every single year, then they're crazy. They are absolutely crazy, because I think everybody looks forward to this now. And to me, this should be something that all the wrestling promotions do. They should all pick up on this. They all have amazing. We talk about TNA's women's roster. AEW's got a great women's roster. Look, we saw that blood and guts match that they did in AEW with the women. I mean, that's something you see every day, right? So if you have that now on most rosters, then why not spotlight it? And why not have the women have that spotlight for one big show of the year? To me, I think they all should do it. And yeah, that was my favorite of the year. Followed for me, I'll give a second would be SummerSlam. SummerSlam was so much fun. It really was. Chris put it very in a great way. But SummerSlam was the best SummerSlam I think we've seen in a long time. So yeah, so that was definitely my number 2. So right, let's see.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've got to go. I've got to put some kids to bed. Thank you. And real quick, comeback of the year, AJ Lee. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for coming, Brandy. We'll see you.
Thank you, Brandy.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Jeff, did you give yours? Yeah, you went. You gave yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what chat has. Chat says my pick is SummerSlam. Bonker says Women's Evolution. Brandon Sandman says, even though I watch AEW. Big Dan says Evolution should have won this, but it's all good. Barry Monkey says, I agree on a Royal Rumble. It makes me smile, which is what I want from entertainment. Damien says, AEW has been pulling out some great pay-per-views this year. I can't really say that I'm shocked in my personal opinion. Swag Fan, for me, it's between BFG and SummerSlam. Swag Fan says, I didn't see Double or Nothing against it, though. Evolution was good. Absolutely, says Swag Fan. And then Bonus Baby saying any AEW pay-per-view. So there you go. All right. Yeah, bright future, I think, for the women. And the pay-per-views have been really stepping up. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right.
All righty.
This is a fun one. Breakthrough Performer of the Year, male.
All right, guys. So start getting your thoughts together here if you haven't already voted. But the Breakthrough Performance of the Year for a male wrestler. Who is it?
And the winner is
Leon Slater, the Phenom in TNA. I mean, man, this guy's star has just risen and is still on the rise. The only thing that derailed him was getting stuck overseas because of some kind of stupid visa issue or something that happened to him. But, oh, my gosh. I mean, you want to talk about a meteoric rise and getting a rub from one of the best people ever to be in TNA, in AJ Styles. I mean, this kid has a bright future with TNA and whatever. Look, he's wrestled on NXT. He's been on some WWE stuff. He was on SmackDown. He was overseas. So we'll see where he ends up. But yeah, Leon is just a bright star in the making. So we have Leon at 45%. Let's see. Looks like we have Javon Evans. Javon Evans, another bright star. 15%, obviously WWE. Oba Femi, 15%. This dude is so over, and he hasn't even picked the show to go on yet. Kyle Fletcher is at 10% from AEW. We have Takashita is at 5% from AEW. Jacob Fatu had an amazing year, 10%. And the only thing that derailed him was an injury, unfortunately. But yeah, he's going to be. You're looking at a lineup up there that is going to be around for many, many years to come. And man, you want to talk about a bright future for a lot of these companies because of that fact. It makes you excited for the future of the business for sure. So, Jeff, man, I'll start with you. Who do you got?
All right, Tazzy, his breakthrough performer of the year was Leon Slater.
Yep.
And for me, it's really, really hard to go against Leon Slater.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Leon Slater. I feel like he had such a great year. Not only what he did in TNA, like you mentioned, getting the rub from AJ Styles, being the youngest ever X Division champion, but then think about everything that he did on NXT.
Yep.
So yeah, Leon Slater, he has a bright future, and man, what a talent, what a talent.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Leon Slater for me.
Yeah, I voted for Leon as well. I really, there was, look, I think some of the others that are on that list are probably going to win it next year. Obafemi, I could definitely see winning this award next year. But yeah, and Javon Evans, that match with the two of them in the tag team, good Lord. The future is so bright for these young men. And, but yeah, Leon and doing what he has accomplished. And, the sad part about it is we'll see where he, how long he stays with TNA. I'm sure WWE has their eyes on him. And imagine if both he and Javon Evans are on WWE shows in the future, whichever shows they might be. Imagine if they're on the same show. Good Lord. But yeah, Javon had just a tremendous year. But Leon, I definitely had to choose Leon for all the stuff that he accomplished that Jeff already mentioned. Leon Slater is just, and for how young he is, Jeff.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah. Crazy. Just crazy. Chris, who do you have?
So I felt like this was probably the hardest category for me to decide, but I was in a different direction. I was back and forth between Obafemi and Javon Evans. And I ended up picking Javon Evans just because that dude is freaking amazing. The stuff that I've seen him do, I haven't seen anybody do stuff like that in years. Maybe even some things, maybe even ever. Like, I feel like he just has the brightest future. He's going to be a future Intercontinental United States champion at least, maybe even a world champion. Like, I'm really excited to see what Javon Evans does. I really like him.
Yeah. The moves these guys have, like the stuff they do off the ropes and stuff. I mean, Leon Slater at that movie does it. He clears the ring post every time he dives outside the ring. I mean, who does this kind of stuff?
And his finisher is a Swanton 450. So think about those two moves by themselves. A Swanton bomb that Jeff Hardy has done for his entire career, and how that looked, and then you add in a 450 splash. This does both of them.
Yeah.
Same time. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
As do.
It's crazy, and it's hard to pick just one, but man, if you are down on the future of pro wrestling, you only have to look at the names on this list. Because boy, and Jeff mentioned a couple other ones. He talked about Trick Williams, and all you have to look and see is who is coming up to these rosters, because man, the future is super bright for so many of these young guys that are coming up and the companies that they're with. So let's see what we've got. All righty, we've got. Gotta be Oba, says Jason Peace. Javon Evans says Brandon. Leon Slater says Bonkers. Javon or Leon Slater. He meant Bear Bronson is my write-in. Okay, good choice there. Could have been Javon Evans too, but great choice. Slater says Swag Fan. Leon Slater answering Carmelo Hayes U.S. Open Challenge, says Bonus Baby. Slater deserves this award totally, says Damien. Imagine this is a faction. Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater. Oh my God. Yeah. Good Lord. Leon is a more rounded wrestler. He could be main eventing anywhere already. Bandito, not mentioned, a crazy year. Yeah, you certainly just did. Bandito is amazing. Javon Evans versus Leon Slater, WrestleMania 44 ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Good. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Match of the year. Would probably be match of the year. Bear Bronson had shown up before this November, December. What a year he would have had. And Dylan says Leon Slater. Yeah, look, when you look at an award like this, it's a Future Stars Award more than anything else. And just what they have ahead of them and how young they are, it just speaks volumes for the future of the business and what we're going to be talking about for many, many years to come. So we definitely have that. All right. What do we got next, Jeff?
All right. We'll move to female breakthrough performer of the year.
All right. Now we go with the female side of it. Breakthrough female performer of the year, guys. So get ready and we'll play the music.
And the winner is...
Again, Stephanie Bach-Burr wins her second award of the night for Breakthrough Performer of the Year on the female side. So, and there you can see the results. Wow. Stephanie ran away with this. 45%. Next closest was Tiffany Stratton at 10. And then we had a whole bunch at 5%. Roxanne Perez. Tekla, is that pronounced Tekla, Jeff? I don't want to pronounce her name correctly. Okay, Tekla from AEW, Mariah May and Blake Monroe, 5%. Then we have Queen Aminata from Ring of Honor at 5%. We have, Lei Ying Lee was at 10%, so she would have been up there with Tiffany. So Lei Ying Lee, that's cool to see from TNA getting 10%. Oh, and Danny Luna. Danny Luna's even hot. Okay, Danny Luna's second, 15% from TNA. So there you go. All right, Danny Luna getting some love. Okay, I appreciate that. There you go. Chris, who's your number one?
So the way I kind of look at this award, to me, I didn't want to go with someone like Stephanie or Tiffany because I feel like they've kind of already established themselves at the top. I went to someone who's still more up and coming. So I went with Blake Monroe on here. I feel like she is going to be a massive star. She's definitely going to go to the main roster sooner rather than later. And yeah, I can see her up in that women's title picture very soon.
Yeah, very, very, very talented. And, she's been in NXT for a little while now, but yeah, that certainly could be a call up at some point from NXT to the main roster. So yeah, great choice. Jeff, what you got?
So Tazzy picked JC Jane. That's another good shout.
Yeah, she had a great year.
Yeah. And for me, I was looking at it a little bit different too. I think I looked at it kind of like Chris did from a standpoint of, are they already established? Are they already a champion? Are they someone that has name recognition already? Or did they earn that throughout the year? And Harley Cameron from AEW is one for sure. Sol Ruka is another. But for me, for what she did to close out 2025, and not just the heel turn, but everything with Spitfire and everything that she's done, I'm going to go with Danny Luna. I also in my top there, and I saw Big Dan mention this, so I want to give him credit, but Maxine Dupree, because she had a heck of a year as well. Somebody that at the beginning of 2025, if someone had told you that Maxine Dupree would be the Intercontinental Champion at some point in the year, they would have, we all know what the answer would have been to that.
Yeah.
So for her to have the year that she had, I feel like she belongs mentioned in that conversation as well.
Look, I from what Maxine Dupree came from to basically being like, she was in a faction, but she was kind of really like not even a focal point of the faction. To come to where she is now, yeah, no doubt. She had a tremendous year. I voted in this for Lei Ying Lee. I really think that she was overlooked for a long time. And she really proved how good she was when she got, like I said, sometimes you just need a change of scenery. And it's very similar to Naomi. You just needed a change of scenery. She left WWE. She wasn't afraid to do that. And she went to a different place and she starred in TNA, and then she came back and she talks about that. But yeah, I went with Lei Ying Lee in TNA. I think she's had a tremendous year. Some people were pretty upset that she lost the title the way she did. And I get it. I understand that. But she had a great run and showed how great of a performer she is. But honestly, Maxine Dupree, right up there. No doubt. That really shocked me. The fact that she went over Becky and beat Becky, that's just insane to me.
I feel like she turned her career on. I mean, the way it was headed, I wouldn't have been surprised to see her on one of those cuts. And and it's like just because they just nothing was really happening with her or anything. But yeah, I feel like she really turned herself around.
Yeah, and the fact that she was working out with Natty and stuff like that too. I mean, yeah, that just goes to show you, hard work and the effort and stuff like that. That gets impresses people, and then you get a shot and you make the most of that opportunity. So yeah, I think but taking nothing away from the winner, Stephanie Vauquer has had an amazing year. An absolutely amazing year. And Danny Luna as well. Danny Luna she doesn't get a lot of credit. She really doesn't get a lot of credit for how talented and how good she is. And think about it too, and Jeff, a great point with Danny. The knockouts division was really depleted in TNA. Really depleted. So the women that were there, due to injury, losing them to other companies and so on, the women who were there really had to step it up. And Danny Luna definitely did.
Plus, it's also very hard to break out of being a long-time tag wrestler and make a name for yourself as a solo too. She's done a great job with that.
Yep, no doubt. Bonker saying Lyra Valkyria or Kendall Gray. Barry Monkey saying Stephanie Vauquer again for me. Swag fan saying the same thing, but along with Jade. Big Dan said this was very wide open, but Maxine Dupree would have been my pick. Harley Cameron broke out this year, said Clown. Easy pick for me would be Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka is going to be a star. Sol Ruka is fantastic. But because she held two companies' top titles, I got to say JC Jane. Yeah, JC was in a lot of great stuff this year too. I would put Roxanne Perez, Blake Monroe, Lei Ying Lee for second. Barry Monkey, Lash Legend. I mean, yeah, look at what she's doing in the tag team that she's in, and wait till she gets a shot at single stuff. Look how well she did in the Rumble. That's always kind of a sign for how respected the women are. So speaking of Tazzy, there he is.
So Tazzy,
it's an insider's party, baby. So it's going to surprise everyone, but of course the hotel reception sucks, and I just paid $8 for the day and same reception. That stinks, dude. That stinks. Well, we're reading off your votes, my friend. So you're here in spirit. Soul is the new Charlotte, says Deanna. Wow, that's high praise. Yeah, she's awesome, and she's been in a lot of things already this year. So again, like I said earlier, women's wrestling is on the rise, and it's here to stay. And that's why I said, you're crazy if you don't keep up these pay-per-views that are dedicated to the women, because you've got so many, and so many that are just ready to go. And hey, being a TNA person, how about our Jordan Grace? And look what Jordan's been doing, man. Ain't going to be long. Jordan out there challenging the champ as well. So it's not going to be long for her to be involved in some big storylines also. So yeah, it's been an amazing year for the women. 2026 is going to be Zarya, I predict, says Barry Monkey. So, all right, let's go to our next one, Jeff. What do we got?
All right, next up, we've got Match of the Year.
All right, Match of the Year, guys. Match of the Year. Think on it. Let us know what your vote is, and we'll tell you who won. Here we go.
And the winner is
Oh, wow.
Speaking of the women, wow, Io Sky, the triple threat match. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
For some reason, this one didn't spit out the percentages for me, but I remember it being like it was the next closest match was 10 percentage points away.
Okay.
So that's how far of a gap that was.
Okay. So the women get more kudos. Io versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca is the winner. We also up there have AJ Styles versus John Cena at Crown Jewel. We have Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing. We have Hangman Adam Page against John Moxley for AEW, of course. And then we have Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks in AEW All in Texas. So a lot of stuff up there for AEW. But yeah, I will start with Chris. Chris, your match of the year.
So I almost wrote in the Wyatt six-pack TLC match from SummerSlam. But I edged it out a little bit with AJ Styles and John Cena, though, because that was such a fun match. That match was the quintessential why I love wrestling match. Like, just the back and forth, each hitting each other's finishers, and the 2.75 kick outs. Like, man, that match was just fun and exciting.
Yep, absolutely. Jeff, what you got, man?
So Tazzy has John Cena versus AJ Styles. And for me, man, I kind of go back and forth here because I do agree with the results. But again, that match between Io and Rhea from Evolution was tremendous. The Mox and Hangman Texas Death Match, the women's Blood and Guts match from AEW. I mean, there's just so many good matches last year. And please know, folks, please know this. I really wanted to include more matches, but I could quite literally have, I don't know, 50, 60 entries.
Yeah.
And I don't have time to separate it out like that. So, but yeah. It's hard to pick this one, but this one I think gets the narrow edge.
Yep. Okay. This is very hard to just pick one. It really is, because there's been a lot of time. Blood. I very seldom ever watch AEW, but I happen to tune in for the women's Blood and Guts. Oh my God, amazing! Best thing they've done for women's wrestling there that I can remember. And I know I don't watch it a lot, but just incredible. This was hard for me too, but I've got to go with the Evolution match too. Just because, again, it was my favorite pay-per-view, my favorite match as well, and from the pay-per-view. And like I said, to me, it really was just a year of women's wrestling. Really, to me, it really was. And not to say that the men didn't do some incredible things. And again, the AJ John Cena match brought all the feels, right? All the feels. So it was the year of Cena, right? That was what we were all watching for. But I really think this was a turning point in women's wrestling this year. And I think we're going to really see a lot more focus on women's wrestling going forward. And that includes the Blood and Guts match for women too. Because again, heap praise on them for just doing that. Because that's not something you would see from women's wrestling for the most part. A lot of people would have avoided that. But that was really, really cool. Best thing I've seen AEW do with women since they had the unsanctioned match with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to have to agree with the consensus here as far as which one they liked. All right, let me see what we've got. Hangman Mox Texas Death Match says bonus baby. AJ versus John Cena says bonkers. Pick any hometown man match for me.
That's gotta be Barry Monkey. That's gotta be Barry Monkey.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. EO and Rhea Evolution. KJ Orso versus Sam Stackhouse. I quit match this clown. We got match of the year, in my opinion, was the EO Rhea match from Evolution due to Naomi's shock factor and the fact that when EO and Rhea are absolute magic together. Deanna says AJ versus Cena was a love letter to wrestling fans. Let's see. Can agree with the WrestleMania 41 triple threat. For me, I'd put Slater versus Evans. Tremendous.
Can't really argue that either.
No. Cena versus Styles. Javon versus Leah, but the Dark State got involved. That could have went on a lot longer. My God, if they would have been allowed to go for like 20 minutes to a half an hour, I would have been. Yeah,
that really ruined that match.
Yeah. AJ versus Nakamura. Yeah, that was this year.
But I can tell you now, as a big fan of both, that will be in my top 3 for this year.
Next year's awards for this.
Yeah.
Shinsuke just doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I don't think.
No.
Wasn't Tony Storm / Mariah May final chapter match in 2025? Yeah, it was. Hell of a match. AJ Styles and John Cena says Sean. So many I could have listed. Yeah, there's no doubt. We had a lot of just incredible matches all throughout the course of the year, which is a win for wrestling fans overall. So awesome. All right. What do we got next, Jeff?
All right. Up next, we have Return of the Year. And I'll tell you that the percentages spazzed out on this too, but it wasn't close.
Return of the Year, folks. Who do you got, and who won the award? Here we go.
And the winner is...
Shocker, AJ Lee as the Return of the Year. Look, I mean, this is still even going on. You could see that Rusev is up there. Aleister Black is up there. MJF returns after his hiatus. Jack Perry to AEW. AJ Lee, Brock Lesnar. Of course, Brock should be on this every year, just automatically. Charlotte Flair, and then, of course, the other category. But, yeah, this was just huge. And they kept it quiet, which was even better. Nobody knew it was coming. And it just shocked the world. Like, it was all the news. It was on Busted Open the next day and for the next couple days. It was all over the place. And the story is still going. AJ was back again, and we're getting a match between her and Becky Lynch, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, man. I mean, AJ is so beloved that when that music hit and she showed up, people just went insane. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all by what the people voted for with this one. So, Chris, I'll start with you.
So, only reason I didn't pick AJ Lee is because I did hear a lot of rumors, nothing confirmed or anything, but it made sense. I thought that there's a good, I could see that happening, things like that. But I went with Brock Lesnar simply because all I heard was he was not coming back. Like, that there was not a chance Brock was ever going to be back in the WWE ring. And to see him come out at SummerSlam, that was just that was one of the all-time shocks for me.
Yep. We've got a box, too, that's going back and forth between Raw and SmackDown. So who's in the box or what's in the box?
If it's a person, they might be dead.
There better be a lot of holes in there. And some place to go to the bathroom, I hope, too, because that'd be really bad.
Hopefully somebody poked holes in the back of that thing where
right?
they can't see it so they can get some air in there.
or have a catheter set up or something in there. You
Well,
know?
I mean, the holes in there could be used to, to relieve themselves if they need
True.
to. So.
Yeah, that's true. Man, oh man, Jeff, what do you got?
Tazzy had AJ Lee.
Yeah,
It's hard to go against that, but I will be completely honest with you. Seeing AJ Styles show up in a TNA ring, and it had been so long since it happened.
Yeah.
That's like those two, they're as close to being tied as they can be. Slight nod to AJ Lee because although I heard rumors, it was something I genuinely thought would never happen because of everything else that happened with CM Punk and all the history and everything over the years. And the fact that it did happen, wow. What a huge moment. The fact that we're going to get her and Becky Lynch in a match. Wow. Yeah. So, that's I'll go with AJ Lee slightly, ever so slightly over AJ Styles. So,
yeah, AJ's return was awesome. And if you have to pick a 1A and a 1B, I mean, just because of the surprise factor, I think, and I did not read anything about her showing up. But once it got to the point in the show, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be AJ Lee. But it was exciting. And like Jeff said, she was in a situation where you really kind of never thought she would come back because we didn't know what was going on with her personally and all that kind of stuff. So seeing her come back to a ring was just really, really cool, regardless of whether she was going to wrestle or not. And so with that, I have to go with AJ Lee. But the other AJ was just as huge. Yeah, I mean, what a moment. We were doing that pay-per-view. So to see him backstage and then to come out and endorse Leon the way that he did was incredible. It was absolutely incredible moment for TNA fans. And it was just a brilliant moment. Now I saw we're getting more. AJ's going to be on Raw, I think, this coming week, actually. So they're going to do like a tribute to him. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, AJ Lee just incredible. And like Jeff said, now we're seeing her actually going to wrestle in a match. I don't necessarily know that anybody would have called that. You might have said, yeah, okay, AJ comes down to be in the corner with CM Punk or something like that, but I don't know that anybody would have said we were going to get a wrestling match from AJ Lee in 2025 or 2026. So yeah, I would. I'm going to agree with the crowd on this one. So, all right, let's see what everybody has in the chat. Voted for AJ Styles versus Joe. Oh, okay, that was for the last one. Brandon says AJ Lee. Clown says Nick Gage returns to GCW and helps Shotzi win against Matt Cardona. Let's light it up. AJ Lee says bonus baby. AJ's return on TNA pay-per-view. Big Dan says this was slam dunk. AJ winning. This was a layup. Almost picked Brock, says Brandon. 10,000 says Clown. Don't be surprised if Danhausen isn't the one who's surviving in the box. Don't be surprised. I could totally see that. Ryder and Dolph Ziggler returning to WWE were big surprises. AJ Lee for me too, says Swagfan. I put AJ Styles with AJ Lee. And then Sean Rousset says AJ Lee. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people are agreeing with that pick. But yeah, big year for AJ returns is what I got in this. All right, Jeff, what do we got next?
All right, last one of the evening.
Okay.
Company/promotion of the year. And I want to remind everyone, this ain't us. This is y'all voting.
Yep.
So
yeah,
just saying these votes are y'all. But yeah, here we go. Promotion of the year.
All right, we'll tell you who our winners are, but here we go. Promotion of the year. Who is it?
And the winner is
Holy wow. For the first time since we've been doing this show, it is not WWE. For the first time, it is not WWE. And there you see them all. If you didn't know, AEW, WWE, TNA, NWA, GCW, MLW, and of course the other category. With the most votes we have ever gotten on this program, and it is TNA, which is
so. I'll tell you the breakdown, because again the analytics for some reason were spazzing out. But I'll tell you the breakdown here. So TNA got 38% of the vote. WWE got 36% of the vote.
Wow. Okay, close.
And AEW had 18%.
Okay.
So that's how it broke down between
Big three.
the three there. But definitely some votes for GCW. I think they were at 2%. So Clown was joined by some people repping GCW. So yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, look, I mean, it's great to see the numbers for TNA, and again, I will, I'll say, for the people who've just watched our channel, just like a shout out to them and stuff for the support that TNA is getting, and I know that a lot of people have said, and they've said it on our show, right, that they have a problem with the partnership. They've said it time and time again, but you cannot deny. You can feel any way you want, but you can't deny that it's helped them. You can't deny that having them have a partnership there has helped their brand. And now they're off and running. They're on a great channel now, not one that you have to set up an old school wired hanger antenna to try to get the channel on your TV. But so. Well deserved, and look, but we were shocked by this result. I know I was when Jeff told me about it. Just incredible for the first time, and like I said, this is the most votes we've ever had, and the fact that TNA won, that's just saying something. And WWE was second. So, all right, I'll start with Chris. Chris, what you got?
I totally get why a lot of people pick TNA, and that's awesome that it won. I still myself went with WWE just because, for one, I know that obviously the partnerships really benefited TNA working with WWE, but just as a longtime WWE fan, I never thought I'd see that. I never thought I'd see them work with another wrestling company and have matches against other companies' wrestlers. So that was just so cool. It's so good on them for being willing to do that, because I never thought I'd see that happen. And then them purchasing AAA, I feel like, was an awesome thing. If you guys are watching every Saturday night, they have an hour-long show on WWE's YouTube channel, AAA. It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to every Saturday night watching that show now. AAA, I'd never really watched AAA before. It's so cool, and it's so cool to see how WWE's been able to help them with a lot of their, just their look and presentation and stuff. It's really cool. Definitely check it out.
Who would have thought we would have had an iguana come into our lives from AAA? Yeah, that's cool, man. You gotta love when it's not just dominated. Wrestling is so much better when it's not dominated by one name, and there's options out there, because there's options for everyone. I mean, we talk about GCW, we talk about a lot of these other promotions. There's something out there for everyone, and that's why it's cool. Wrestling's cool because you don't have to just watch. You're not stuck with just watching one show. You've got a bunch of options and stuff now. That's what's great about it. Jeff, who do you have as yours?
So Tazzy has MLW for his promotion of the year. They had a great year, so I definitely get that vote. For me, I'm biased. I admit that I'm biased, and I'm okay with in this regard. To see TNA on AMC a lot of that momentum was started right after the pandemic and during the pandemic when they rebranded. That was also a part of this momentum. But seeing them do what they've done through 2025 and in 2026 land on a major network like AMC, I just for that alone, even if you took out the great wrestling and the great shows that we got, for them to go from where they were, I mean, let's think about it. There were times where people thought TNA was going out of business.
Yeah.
And they're still here, and not only are they here, they're thriving. So the little engine that is TNA is my pick. But honestly, GCW had a great year. AEW had a great year. There were some WWE had a great year. So I mean, there was some great wrestling in 2025. And I think that's the main takeaway is that no matter who you support, what company support, what style of wrestling you like, you got some pretty darn good wrestling in 2025. So
more options than ever before right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's something out there for everybody. Like I said, yeah, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, for me, this is kind of an easy choice, but I went with TNA as well. WWE had a great year. A lot of other companies are right up there. AEW did some great things this year. They had a lot of, obviously, you guys voted on a lot of that stuff that they have done, the blood and guts match for the women and everything else. They had a great, it was just overall, there was a lot to cheer for. And, yes, you can call us a homer. That's fine. It's all good. I'm okay with it. I like what I like. What can I do? That's what this is all about, right? I mean, we're each going to be our own person. We're going to like what we like. And am I going to say they're perfect? Nah, no one's perfect. But you're going to enjoy what you're going to enjoy. And now I'll have to give AAA a watch now because of what Chris talked about, because I haven't seen it. So I'm gonna have to check it out.
Joe, you will love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's like old school wrestling.
Nice.
It's so entertaining.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it sounds like something I would like. So.
Yeah, you would love it. And Chris, thank you, because Chris is the reason I started catching it regularly. Like I was watching for the pay-per-views and I was like, okay, I'm cool. But then he was like, nah, it's on every week. And it's
and
really
they've got
good.
The regular commentary team for it every week is Corey Graves, JBL, and Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio helps translate too, which is
nice. That's cool. Where is it on?
WWE's YouTube channel on
Saturday
the YouTube.
Night. Okay.
I think it's like 10 o'clock on Saturday nights. It's live, and you can watch it after the fact too. Yeah, it's only an hour. It's a good, easy watch. Very entertaining.
Nice.
And they have a really big show coming up on March 14th. The Rey de Reyes tournament is going on there, and Dom is fighting El Vikingo for the Mega Championship too in a no DQ match.
Well, of course, we've seen El Vikingo on TNA quite a bit over the years. So yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out for sure. That's cool.
And Omos is regular on there now too.
I heard that. I saw his name. I'm like, well, good for Omos, man.
Yeah, he's back for Vikingo.
That's awesome.
And Joe, the Machine Guns have been down there.
Oh, never seen this. I was
just next Saturday, the Psycho Clowns are defending their AAA tag titles against the War Raiders.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So they're getting tag.
There's been a lot of WWE people showing up there too, which is pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah,
Apollo Crews has been on there regularly lately.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, well, that's good. Some of those people that we don't get to see a lot on the main roster.
Yeah, it's been a great place for them to still get exposure.
That's cool. That's cool. I'll definitely have to check that out for sure. Awesome. All right. Well, let's see what everybody had for their promotion of the year. We got AEW for Brandon, TNA for Swag Fan. Sounds biased, but it's not. GCW had a good year last year, says Swag Fan. HOG had a good year as well, says Swag Fan. TNA NXT was my favorite, says Bonkers. Dan says, congrats on the terrific choice. I have no quarrels with this at all. You guys have been championing TNA for a while, and they are the number 2 promotion thanks to TV deal and Rob from WWE. Well-deserved for TNA, says Swag Fan. Barry says, I love AAA. Dirty Dom doing the dirty on El Grande Americana this week was brilliant.
That was good.
True, I've been watching AAA before, but they're even better now. Bonus Baby says, Jeff, people still think TNA is going out of business. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Tazzy said, if NXT was their own promotion, I would have chosen them. I love the NXT and the TNA partnership. Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here. I do too. Deanna says, TNA, TNA, TNA. Dylan following up with his own chant. I love it. Highly recommended AAA as well. The wrestling there is great. Hassan Games says, hi there, TNA wrestling fans. Barry Monkey says, Mini Vikingo and AAA really impressed me for someone who's only 17 years old. That's cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to start checking that out. Maybe I'll go watch some of it tonight on the YouTube. That'll be cool. Have something to do. There's really nothing going on. Well, guys, there you have it. That is 2025 in a nutshell for us. And again, all I really have to say, and I'll have everybody give some quick thoughts and we'll about their 2025s, and we'll wrap this up and something, of course, to look forward to in 2026. But first off, just thank you, all of you. I say this a lot, but I want you to know that I mean it. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. We all like each other, me, Jeff, and Chris, but we're probably not going to be sitting on a video talking to each other like this. So, yeah. Thanks for coming out all year long to our shows. We appreciate all of you. We know there's better ways you can spend your time. Those that come and sit with us in the chat for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, or even longer if it's a pay-per-view. And a lot of those late nights for TNA when they go till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we appreciate it. We appreciate how much the views we're getting on TNA from all the new people that are out there. And so the ones that aren't in the chat, thank you to you as well, because obviously a lot of you voted for these awards. So, yeah, I mean, nothing but gratitude from myself and Jeff and, of course, Chris from the stuff that we do. And all I could say is that just stay tuned. Keep coming out, because we're going to have a lot of stuff that we're going to be looking forward to for the rest of this year. Jeff and Chris, of course, on Tuesdays, and you know, the Wyatt Six, and that's just kind of getting started. There's just fire starting to brew underneath that with the feud with the MFTs. So that's going to
come on SmackDown next week too.
Yep. So that's going to continue to go forward. And then, of course, like I said, with us on TNA and stuff like that. So, yeah, Jeff, I guess we'll go round table and we'll talk about, like, you know, what we look forward to, I guess, in 2026 and things of that nature.
Yeah, so let's do our 2026 predictions. Let's look into our crystal ball here and think about what we might see in 2026.
All right, so there you go. So let's you guys can give us, you know, one or two of yours as well. What are you seeing for wrestling in 2026? And it doesn't matter which promotion or which athlete or whatever the case might be, but what are you seeing in pro wrestling for this next year? So and it could be, it could deal with anything. So let us know in the chat as we go around table. So I'll start with Chris. Chris, what do you got for 2026?
I think we'll see what happens in 2026. I think we're going to see Gunther add at least one more career to his career killer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're moving away from that anytime soon. They basically now have a guy who, when somebody is finished or done or getting close to done with their career, now is going to get bounced by Gunther. So, yeah, dude, you know, what if – I was thinking of this scenario. And I don't think it's quite time for him yet, but what if one day we get career killer versus legend killer?
Oh,
when
wow.
Randy's about to, oh my gosh, that would be something, man. So yeah. All right, Jeff, what do you got, man?
So my prediction really isn't company specific; it's more of a where I think the business is going.
Yeah.
You have smaller promotions that are getting more fanfare and more attention these days because of streaming and because of social media. So you're starting to see companies like HOG, you're starting to see GCW, and I'm going to throw another one out there for you all to take a look at, JCW. They've been pretty good too. So if you can give them a shot, give them a shot. But I think that in 2026, we're going to start seeing a shift to fans watching more of the smaller companies going forward. And I think that's a couple reasons why. I think one, because let's be honest, ticket prices these days are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
You can go to a local independent show. You can go to a TNA or a GCW show, and you don't have to worry about breaking the bank. And I think you'll start to see a shift of people watching those smaller companies because, one, you're seeing talent that you've never seen before, but two, and I think the most important thing is you're seeing creative decisions being made that people are just swinging for the fences. They're not worried about, like, oh, I wonder what these sponsors are going to say, or I wonder what this is going to be, or how that's going to look. They're trying stuff. And I think that's what we want to see from the bigger places and not have things be as cookie cutter, I want to say it sometimes. But I do think that the smaller companies, your more medium-sized companies, and even independents as a whole, I think will have a rise in 2026.
Mine is more of a hope, but I can see it becoming a thing. This past year, I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed this past year as much as I did was because of the fact that things were able to be hidden. We got things that were surprising. We weren't spoiled. Okay. I think what's going to happen because of that is I think the wrestling promotions themselves, the companies themselves, are going to start to veer away from the I'm going to let this out there. I'm going to let this be spoiled. I think they're going to start being much more careful. And I think they're going to be much more secretive when it comes to certain things, plot lines, storylines, even returning wrestlers. Now again, this is a lot of hope for me too. It's not a prediction necessarily, but it's a lot of hope for me that I hope that they are all starting to see the damage that is being done to the brands because this stuff is getting out in the public and almost like ruining a movie. You can have the best card that you come up with, but if it gets out there and gets spoiled or some kind of big, huge plot line, imagine if, the Seth thing, imagine if the Seth thing got spoiled right away. Right now, I'm not talking a few months later, people started to speculate a little bit more. But imagine if the Seth thing got out right away. We've had our reporter on the spot, saw Seth Rollins in the locker room, and he was perfectly fine. And it spoiled it right from that moment. How disappointing that would have been. I think that they're going to start to realize that, and the higher ups are going to start to we'll say, all right, you know what? We're going to crack down on this garbage once and for all because our fans are enjoying it more. They're buying more tickets. They're coming out more. They're watching our show more because of what we're doing with these storylines. And we don't want it to be ruined. So that's my hope for 2026 is that I hope people come to their senses. The higher ups come to their senses a little bit and realize that surprise and not knowing is a big, big thing for pro wrestling. And like I said, I hope they come to the realization. And I'm not just pointing out one company; I'm pointing out all of them.
I think WWE's been trying to help with that too, because they've been actually putting out fake information recently.
Yeah.
But then when they run it and see it's wrong, they're going to be more hesitant to not want to do that.
Yep. So, so that's not really a prediction, but that's something I really, really hope that we get, that would kind of take it back a little bit, would take it back to some of the older days where, we weren't getting this stuff. You just didn't know all of the time, and you were able to get surprised by stuff. The other thing is, one of my predictions here is also that I want to see women main eventing WrestleMania. And of course, I want to see the return of that women's pay-per-view. And I want to see more of that in other companies as well, because I know TNA could do it. They've done it before. So I want to see more focus on the women pay-per-views, because like I said, the women's rosters, and it doesn't matter which company you talk about, they are just absolutely amazing, and amazing talent out there. And, people have to see it. So that they are my two big things for 2026. All right, let's see what we've got here, and we'll wrap this sucker up. So we got KJ Orso and Atticus Cougar are both making their way to mainstream, says Clown. Bonus Baby wants us to wear tuxedos. I would never probably wear a real tuxedo, but I'd be willing to look into a tuxedo t-shirt. Because I can't wear. I think I would die if I had to wear a tuxedo for 2 hours. But I know those t-shirts.
I'll make them for us.
There you go. That'd be awesome. Yeah, there you go. We get our own insiders ones. So there you go. Nice. Nice.
Red insider's bow tie.
Yeah, that I can handle. A real bow tie. Let's see. Hassan, yes for Elimination Chamber Chicago. Dan says Chris Jericho shows up in WWE during the Raw after WrestleMania, with Gunther retiring him at WrestleMania 43. Karrion Kross returns and joins the Wyatt Six. I don't think Karrion Kross will be out for very long, but I don't know if he's going to return to WWE, but we'll see. Lexibus Gamer says, excited to see what Charlotte and Alexa do at WrestleMania. The Clown said, Juggalo Championship has been doing some good things. Roxanne Perez winning a single title in 2026, and Kendall Gray moving up to the next level NXT champion or main roster. Gunther retires Rey Mysterio. Dom loses his hair in a match. It's not going to a hair match or a hair? Oh, wow. Okay. And Cody Rhodes turning heel, and Chris Jericho returning to WWE, and Javon dethrones Dom and wins the IC title. Okay. Next year's TIGS Awards, you should include Most Improved Wrestler, Future Star, Rivalry, and Feud of the Year. Yeah, look, we kind of play with that stuff a little bit every year. So, we'll see. Next year comes around, we'll maybe, throw it out there to you and let you guys vote in some categories, but we'll see. Didn't see a single spoiler for any of the TNA tapings since AMC era started. See? And it's a good thing. Hope more than a prediction that TNA finally gives Jason Hotch the singles push he's deserved. Hope we get it. The women's tag TLC main events WrestleMania. Predictions: Judgment Day dissolves. Joe Hendry joins WWE main roster. Women's Anarchy in the arena, and Double or Nothing. Kylan King. Yeah, where is Kylan King? Let's go. I want to see Kylan come back to TNA. Hopefully she's doing better. Ash by Elegance to be TNA Knockout Champion again. Listen, because of the way she had to leave, I would be perfectly fine with that. She deserves that.
Absolutely.
A Super Stadium Worlds Collide show with WWE, TNA, AAA, NOAH, Mar and Marigold. Can you imagine if that would ever happen?
That would be insane.
That would be that'd be like a DC and Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can never say never. You can never say never, because someone was saying, I think it was Kevin Smith, was talking on his show about people don't really realize how close we could be to a Marvel and DC film. And he's probably right. James Gunn, who used to work for Marvel and doing Guardians of the Galaxy, is in charge of DC. He was a Marvel guy. Yeah. So if the executive, they got to get past executives with that, because it's all different movies and they'd fight over, well, who's going to do this? Because is it going to be Disney or is it going to be this big company? Is it going to be that?
They could overcome that though. The money.
Oh my God, dude! If they ever had like the comic book they did back in the 90s, Justice League versus Avengers, dear God, the money would be fun. That would be a $3 to $4 billion film.
Yeah.
Hands down. To see like Batman going up against Wolverine and all that stuff. Oh my God, people would die.
Yeah.
People would die. Kevin Smith also said he probably will never see it in his life, but look, you never know, man. Money talks.
Yeah,
money.
They might be able to figure it out for that money.
And Disney just churned out all their leadership. Their CEO is now a completely different person. So the old school is going out the door, the new school's coming in, and the new school might be very willing to think about things like that. And the same thing with wrestling. Well, when you get the new school churning out the old school, that's when you start to see things happen. So yeah, Jay and Silent Bob's going to cross over into Marvel Universe in June with the comic. That's cool. Yeah, Kevin's still doing the comics. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, listen, there you go. That is our TIGS Awards for the year. I want to thank, of course, Brandy for joining us, and of course, Chris, and of course, all of you. For voting on the awards and coming out to this year after year after year. We have done this now for as long as we have had this show, and we'll continue to do it every single year at the end of the year. So for those of you who are new to the channel and are watching this maybe as your first show, please make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you drop a like on the video for us as well. Hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have future content, which of course our lineup. We of course have Fireflies Forever on Tuesdays. We have TNA on Thursdays, and then on Sundays every week we are here for Between the Ropes, which of course we did this in place of that for the course of the week. So thank you guys. We appreciate you coming out as always. And stay safe, especially if you're in the Northeast with this big nor'easter that we're getting now. Yay. Like we needed more snow. But yeah, stay safe, be kind to one another always. And hopefully we will see you all on the next episode of The Insiders. Have a great night, guys. And we will talk to you all soon. Good night, everybody.